Hey guys, this is Hex, and before I get started with today's video, I first want to apologize about the lack of content I've had on my channel as of late. I've been sick, and actually been sick for quite a while. I've been sick since not this past Sunday, but it's more like, the Monday before. Um, and I either have had like a light case of the flu or a real bad head cold. I'm not for sure which one it is, but whatever this bug is, it's hard to get rid of. Um, but I'm on the road to recovery. It's just, taking quite a while, actually more than what it usually do, what it normally does. Uh, I haven't, but it seems like every time I've tried, felt like I've been in the mood to do a video, it's been a little bit difficult because every time I tried to talk, I start coughing quite a bit. Um, I haven't coughed as much today, so I'm going to attempt to try to do this. So, wish me luck, and maybe I won't cough up a storm. Um, but today I want to do a video for Elder Scrolls Online for beginners with the subject of acquiring gold. And I've noticed that newbies that come into like an MMO, this one in particular, one of the first things I ask is like, well, I want like a mount, like, how can I get a large amount of gold, really really quick? And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is no really quick way to do it. Um, in other words, you're gonna have to work, and I know some people out there don't want to do that. They just want this stuff handed to them. In fact, um, for quite a few months now, there's been some people, I call them moochers, that they go on the chats and they start begging, please, give me 40K for a horse, or another piece of equipment, and a vast majority of the time they're either ignored or they're made fun of. So in other words, don't be a mooch. It's very, very, very rare that you'll find somebody charitable enough to give you a large amount of gold, because after all, like a lot of these players, they work their asses off to get this gold, so they're not going to give you like just 40K out of the blue, because that's a considerable amount of cash. Uh, so they're not going to do that. Um, but I'm going to give you some tips on getting you started. That way you can be on your way to getting golden before you know it. You'll have a pretty decent amount. Maybe not the 40K that you're wanting really quickly, but you'll get there eventually. Um, One of the main things you want to do is go on quests. Vast majority of the time, these will give you gold, and sometimes they even tack on some items. And even if you can't use the items, just sell them, and get to a vendor or whatever, and get some cash out of that. You can also, if you're in towns, villages or what have you, uh, loot homes. Anything that isn't nailed down, go ahead and grab it. And that way you'll be able to sell it. Now you won't be able to sell every item, but a vast majority you will be able to. Um, and if you're of the daring sort, there are items in houses that will say steal, and you can steal them if you want, but be extremely careful if you do, because you don't want to get caught, because the guards will try to maul you if you do. Um, and if you succeed in stealing something, of course you can sell this stuff to a fence. Now, other options are exploring dells, dungeons, finding specific creatures. Uh, like the group bosses, they'll have occasionally have money and items on them. Um, 4-man dungeons are a good way to get quite a bit of cash. Um, Another option is if you want to craft items, you can see on for writs, um, you can sell that stuff as well and get some gold out of that. Um, if you're wanting to craft, like, let's say, staves or weaponry, or maybe even potions, or or glyphs, or so on and so forth. Um, and as I mentioned before, I'll probably repeat myself here, so sorry about that. But sell gear, like any gear that you acquire, from wherever, just go ahead and sell it. If you have like a rare item, um, you might be, you could very well go onto the chats and try to see if anybody's interested in buying what you have. Uh, or if you have stacks of various materials that you want to sell. Somebody might need some jute or iron ore or what have you, and you could sell that for a pretty good profit. So if you find somebody, just haggle the price until you get what you want, and then who knows, you might very well get the amount that you're asking for. Um, and the final thing, and this is actually the easiest out of all those, well, with the exception of going into the house and getting stuff that's the non-stealable stuff. Um, just go out into the wilds and acquire various materials, like runes, for example. You can get like a wood, iron ore, certain types of plants, for alchemy, or crafting, like clothes like jute, for example. Um, though be forewarned that there is a few things that you can't sell, like food wise, like ingredients to make a meal. You're gonna get zero gold out of that, so just that you may want to ignore that. Um, but a final piece of advice I can give you is when you're out and about, grabbing plants or whatever. If you're grabbing certain things like jute or bug glass or whatever, oftentimes when you pick them up, there'll be something attached to it like worms, and you might be tempted to go, well, I have no interest in fishing. I'm just gonna just leave the worms and just take the jute or whatever. Please, please, please do not do that. Uh, because when you do, you're just basically dicking over the person that's thinking that they're going to have a plant, when in fact it's going to be nothing left except for worms. So in other words, don't be a dick. uh, so just go ahead when you pick up the plant, just grab it and the worms along with it, because you can always destroy the worms right there on the spot, or you can just give them away to a vendor. You won't be getting any cash for it, but you know at least you can get rid of it. But please, don't be one of those people that just leaves it, because if you leave the worms, like I said, you're gonna, the person's gonna walk up there thinking, oh, I've got like this, finally found the plant I need, and they pick it up and there's nothing but worms. They're gonna get pissed, for one, and two, it just takes longer for it to respawn. Because if you had picked up the worms to start with, just picked up everything, then the respawn would have been quicker for the next person. So just be considerate when you're out, grabbing stuff to sell. But that's all I wanted to talk to you guys for today. And please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I hope to talk to you guys real soon.